Two of Trump's most controversial cabinet nominees were confirmed. Tulsi Gabbard is our new Director of National Intelligence, and RFK Jr. is the head of Health and Human Services. There was only one GOP senator who voted no, the soon-to-be-retired Mitch McConnell, the man who got us into this mess. He stole a Supreme Court seat from Obama, voted to acquit Trump after the insurrection, and even endorsed him for president again. Thanks for nothing, Mitch. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. So, ladies, what do you think of these confirmations?
I'm really nervous, about the whole kit and caboodle, but RFK Jr. is scary to me because a lot of the things we've talked about vaccinations, but we're also seeing a huge uptick of some health problems. We've had measles outbreaks in Texas, at least 22 children, 2 adults affected. The flu levels in the U.S. are higher than they've been in 15 years. And I have to believe some of that comes from the COVID vaccine being politicized and then people holding back on all vaccines because flu vaccines are also down, almost by half among kids. Yeah. And Bill Gates was here and he warned us we'll have another pandemic. And I remember asking him during commercial, what happened to the once-in-a-lifetime pandemic? Because I thought we could check that box off. And he was like, no, because there's a lot of things happening in regard to environmentally, people being more in touch in certain areas of the world with animals, which is where these viruses come from. And then he went on to say, and there's a high chance of bioterrorism. So he's like, there's a 10% chance in the next 4 years, we could do 2020 all over again. So I think that's the part that's getting me is, the pandemic leading into an RFK Jr., leading into all the numbers we're seeing. That's where I'm kind of concerned right now.
What about Tulsi Gabbard?
Well, look, both of them, and I think you can put Kash Patel and Hegseth into this basket as well, because there have been people that Trump has nominated that have gotten bipartisan support, like Marco Rubio, who got 99 votes. You can disagree with him on policy, but you can't disagree that he's not qualified. And I think Tulsi Gabbard, RFK, Hegseth, Kash Patel, there's 2 things that I would look for that I would hope would be in our government leaders. One is a fitness of character, a moral compass, and also qualifications, managerial experience, academic experience in their field. These people have neither. They're not morally fit to serve in that role, and they don't have any managerial experience or experience in that field.
Why do you think Trump picked them?
Because they're loyal. No, because there is one qualification that Donald Trump requires. Loyalty to him. 100%
Which is not ever reciprocated, by the way.
So one pick who was confirmed that wasn't controversial and was nearly unanimously supported with a lot of bipartisan support was Brooke Rollins, who was a colleague of mine, has a deep background in policy and is going to be the Secretary of Agriculture. That's a good one. I'm great with it. I supported Marco Rubio being. RFK is somebody I have a hard time understanding how conservatives came around to. He's somebody who has a lifelong record of much more liberal positions, but also dangerous public health positions. But Tulsi Gabbard, I have warned about from the outset. This is a woman who, the most charitable thing I could say is she lacked the judgment to not amplify Russian propaganda. She repeatedly shared things that were very explicitly Russian propaganda. Throughout her confirmation hearing, Russia Today, state media in the Kremlin, was supporting her and endorsing her. Edward Snowden, who I continued to be a traitor to this country, was actively supporting her on social media. Now, I talked to a 4-star general and expressed my concerns about her overseeing our national intelligence apparatus. He did assure me that these, whether it's the CIA, ODNI, or the DIA, they are actually built in case a director gets in place that is dangerous and against the U.S.'s mission, and they can be compartmentalized out of information as to not potentially expose things to danger. That said, it is going to have impacts on our allies sharing intelligence with us. It simply will. And
what about her relationship with Assad? That was suspicious.
And as a Syrian American, we will never forgive her for showing up there when after he had gassed his own people and trying to basically whitewash his record. But that's not good. And at this critical moment with the Ukraine and Russia war, she is not the person I would want.
How do you think RFK is going to handle bird flu? Just run over the chickens and cook them, or what? What is he going to do?
Leave them in Central Park.
I don't even know what to say. Like, we in trouble. Like, this is bad. Like, it's just, I usually have something to say. I don't even know what to say. We're talking about RFK Jr., who's like, he definitely is an anti-vaxxer, being responsible for a $1.7 trillion agency. And one of the things that I'm most concerned about are those that are most vulnerable in our country, children and the elderly.
Right.
We know very well that the Republicans want to cut Medicare and Medicaid. Medicaid at this point, if it's scaled back, it's given 22 million Americans access to health care. Nearly 80 million Americans are enrolled in Medicaid. They're targeting the Affordable Care Act. The people that need health care the most are going to be affected. I'm just so disgusted and devastated. Like, we are in trouble.
Yeah,
We are in
And
trouble.
it's so
We are.
it's so sad, frankly.
Yeah.
To see Republicans who know better, because you know Tom Tillis, who is a medical doctor, knows better.
Cassidy.
Cassidy knows better. You know he knows better.
Well, he denied, though, being an anti-vaxxer.
Well, yeah,
during
but
the
you know they all go on the
confirmation
conference, but they know.
RFK did.
I mean, these last-minute denials and last-minute conversions are very, very suspicious. And you don't give the leadership of an agency like that to somebody who converts at the last minute while the website he was running was still selling anti-vax merchandise. But you know, why was Mitch McConnell able to do it now? Because now he has no fear of retribution
Yeah, that's right.
from Donald Trump, right?
Yeah.
Whereas everybody else
Well, some of
is
these-
terrified of him and towing the line.
Somebody said that they were afraid for their lives and also for the lives of their children and their wives. It's not just not being reelected.
Yeah.
It's physical threats that go on. All I can say is get your vaccines now, America.